What is up, team? Welcome to the On The Burst podcast. I'm your coach, Brandon Savage, and I'm joined here today by my trusty assistant coach, Timmy Moody. How are you, Timmy?
Good, thanks, mate.
It's very good to have you. And we also have a special train and trial on today. His name is Winston Neville. Welcome back, Winston.
Yo, good to be back. I'm glad that I've secured, a second starting spot. Not a starting spot.
Starting spot? You're on a train and trial, mate.
Second run.
You're on a train and trial.
These train and trial guys always start getting a big head once they make a strong carry at training or something. Put a bit of a move on one of the first grade or regular guys, and then they... wait till it's welcome to first grade. I'm going to put a fucking massive hit on him halfway through this podcast, man, just when he's not ready for it.
He's got a bit of run in the media. His head's getting a bit big, but we're going to humble him today. Mm-hmm. Winston, you're on a couple of weeks ago. It was bloody absolutely the sweatiest sweatbox in here 100%. That I remember, but they've fixed the aircon.
Yeah, it's actually. I walked in the room and I was like, "Oh, it's not a sauna." I thought we just recorded in a sauna, but it's actually just a studio.
I thought it was like a sauna in a podcast studio.
The background kind of does that. Yeah, you kind of could just chuck some wood on the rocks that are in the corner there, and
the pile of rocks sort of made me think that it's a sauna.
How's the off season been?
Yeah, cruisy. Finished uni, obviously. If
congratulations, mate.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, only for the year.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the head has gotten very big. I finished uni. But just on uni break, which is super cruisy.
Uni break, how long have you got left?
I got 1 year left.
1 year.
So 2024 finish uni, 2024 dogs in the comp. It'll be a good year next year.
It's a good feeling, isn't it? Like finishing the year, even though you're not finished, like you finished all your units for the semester. I did something similar. Timmy's mic is just completely fallen over.
Come on, buddy.
You better move it over.
Might have to get some of that nasal spray or something.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's embarrassing.
No, yeah, just do the...
I am getting a bit older.
No, it's not that one. I think it's that one down the bottom.
The way you're going, I might take your spot.
I don't know. I think it's this one. Naturally, I just want to twist that. Yeah, it's right.
Yeah, Winston's been...
Everyone... Don't tell me how to operate my own bloody bits and pieces, mate.
Yeah, we go limp sometimes, but sometimes you just got to get through with it.
It's about how you use it, I've always said.
That's it. You can use it limp if you like, but...
I'm back in the game.
You're back in the game.
For our audio listeners, my microphone just sort of collapsed and just went, ooh.
It looks like he... thought he was going home with a hot chick, and then she pulled all her clothes off and she was wearing the compression bands or something like that, and all just not what you're expecting.
I'd have still went up for that.
Yeah, so back to before I actually finished my first year of my apprenticeship within TAFE. I'm a second year at the moment, but I finished my first year at TAFE last week.
Congratulations.
Passed everything, so probably not as good as a feeling as it is yours, but...
I just finished a coffee, by the way.
Yeah, well, I finished your mum last night, so...
Fucking your mum jokes, hey? They always end well. Us Penrith boys will come for you. Your mum.
Yeah, so the off-season, right? I think when I had you on the first time, you're actually the best performing episode of the off-season.
You're welcome, mate.
I think that's got to do with it was actually still the season at that point.
Yeah,
it was still there's still footy going on. And the week after, me and Timmy came and did a grand final review. That was actually a bigger episode, but I'm comparing it to...
Sorry, you're messing with the big dog though, mate. It's a bit hard.
That's why I'm on train and trial.
That's right.
I'm comparing them to all the others, and you got your own podcasts. You missed out on the grand final review.
Yeah.
How does that happen? You're on a train and trial. You want to get a full-time contract. How does this happen?
Do you actually want to... Do we have time for the story? Because
we can go for it.
There's a story. So grand final week, as an avid footy nerd... I've spent every grand final week this year just thinking about grand final, but not this year. I was up on the Gold Coast at Uni Nationals playing a bit of touch footy on behalf of University of Wollongong. Just quietly won the bronze medal. Not to brag, but I'm a bronze medalist.
Nice.
And so that ended on the Friday. Obviously, usually we record on a Wednesday, but obviously I was on the Gold Coast. We didn't want to do Zoom, so I was like, as soon as I come back on the Saturday, we'll just do it out and get out Sunday morning so we've got something. I wake up Saturday morning at 6 a.m, flight cancelled. I'm like, shout out to Virgin. Shocking. So I've opened my phone to check the time, and flight cancelled. And they've put my next flight, they've put me on is a Monday.
Oh, no.
So it's I don't have any accommodation. It's on the Gold Coast. You can't get accommodation at a reasonable price, and then last minute you just can't get it. And so I'm on the phone to Virgin being get me on a flight. And they were we got nothing. I think I ended up going back to sleep because I was like, I'll deal with this when I wake up. Like, this isn't looking good. Woke up, got back on the phone to him, and eventually just carried my way to a flight. I think I ended up with like whatever flight they put me on. I had to leave, so I walked out of my Airbnb at like 10 a.m. checkout. Literally didn't have a flight, so I've walked out of the Airbnb, nowhere to go. I've got an Uber on the way, and I'm like trying to work out where to go, and that's when the Virgin person on the phone's like, "I've got you on at 11:30," and so I'm like, I need to get to the airport now, and then ended up getting on the flight. Got back like in Wollongong like that night, and I was like, I'm not doing a podcast. Like, we'll just,
So just Sunday wasn't an option. You just let's
because you also got to record it and then you got to edit it and get it out, and it's like by the time it was out, it would have been everyone's watching the grand final anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pumped grand final content for a couple of weeks there, just only because it was a good grand final. It was a pretty tame grand final. Probably couldn't have done that, but the fact that it was a good grand final, I felt like I was overdoing it for a bit. Like there's like 6 or 7 videos on my TikTok just talking about the grand final and how good Penrith were.
You're talking about Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, just Nathan Cleary in particular. But yeah, how'd your Spotify Wrapped go for the year?
Good.
For your first year?
I didn't memorize it, but because it was our first year, all the percentages were like massive.
Crazy.
Which look. They were big numbers, so because obviously, like, I think yours was, I don't remember what it was, but it was lower than mine, but purely because it's your second year, you can't increase. Like mine was like a 900% increase, which is like it's not because it's the first year.
How is it 900? Oh, was it 99999.9?
Yeah, it was like because it's our first year.
Yeah,
based on the year
from
before.
Zero. Yeah, that's right.
Huge year for orange peelers.
Get excited, orange peeler fans. Well, for the Supercoach experience, we created nearly 3,000 minutes of content, which will pass the 3,000 minutes by the end of the year. Australia, top country, 178% streams increase, that's beautiful, Timmy. Oh, you don't have to clap. That's fine. This is just us patting ourselves on the back. 126 people had us as their top podcast, which I think is amazing. 900 people had us in their top 5. And 1,700 people had us in their top 10. So
that's hectic.
We've got about 1,700 people who listen regularly. I think by next year we should set a goal. Let's get the number 1 up a bit, maybe to 200 potentially.
Oh, let's not be results driven. Let's just have fun along the way and see.
But it's like,
I mean, if we're doing good stuff and putting good stuff out, those numbers are going to come. I think it's a bit like playing State of Origin. You know what I mean? Like you just want to focus on playing club footy. And, if you're playing good, those sorts of responsibilities will come your way.
Club footy first, and if you hit 200, you hit 200, but it's just at the back of your mind. You focus on episode by episode.
Okay, in saying that, like, subscribe, share.
So I'm the footy player that tells the truth, and you guys are the footy players who have been media trained very well. But yeah, I'm stoked with them numbers. Like this offseason, obviously, like I said, the 2 episodes we had consecutively were our biggest of the off-season. They're still far down from what we get during the season. So obviously we do Supercoach naturally, and that was finished. So that's why we understand that. But I think it just means every year we're growing, which is awesome. It's awesome to see, and it just means this time of year putting in this work is it's worth it when the numbers do come. So we're working hard now to perfect this show so it's good for when the season comes. And when the season comes, have you thought about it, Timmy? About when the season comes?
Yeah.
Like fitting the Supercoach show and
I realised it's going to be a little bit more.
It's going to be hectic. It's going to be hectic, but I think the fact that we've started this, we're committed to it.
You got to be a slave to the content. And a slave to the audience.
That's it. And we don't want to be just known as Supercoach guys. Like I think Supercoach pretty much translates you into a massive rugby league nerd. But moving on, BBL starts on Thursday. You're around the cricket?
Yeah, Sixers.
You're a Sixers fan? Sixers fan. Who do you think the player of the tournament's going to be?
Josh Philippe.
Josh Philippe?
Yeah.
Interesting. I honestly don't know who I think is going to be the player of the tournament, but I think the Renegades potentially get up there. Maybe I think the strikers. I just have a feeling about the strikers. Darcy Short has gone over there. They've got Matt Short. I just think with that
Perth always there. Perth are usually good.
Perth have a gun lineup. They got Mitch Marsh and everything. So I think with Timmy not knowing much about cricket, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there.
But it starts on Thursday, and I'm so excited for it. Winston, we've got you on the podcast. The last time you were on this podcast, you put up on your socials your doggies theory for 2024.
Yep.
It absolutely slapped on the socials, didn't it?
It did. It did very well. It's actually my, including Orange Peelers, best performing podcast clip that I've ever put out.
There you go.
I'm aware of it, yep.
You're aware of it. Do you want to give us a bit of a quick rundown on what that is? I know you've already said it, but I think there's been more like kind of omens come into play since you said it on this podcast.
Yeah, so there's heaps actually. So we'll start with the basics. Do you want me to walk you through the entire thing?
Go through it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, hang on. Let me get up. Because I did up that fancy post the other day. Oh, not the other day, the other week. I don't know if you saw it on at Orange Peelers, on Orange Peelers _
I did see that. Yeah, it was like a clipboard type thing.
Yeah.
So this is Winston explaining why the Doggies are going to win in 2024.
So it starts with the pattern, and this has been around for 50 years, but I've been aware of it since 2014. So the pattern is in 1974, they made the grand final and lost. In 1984, they made it and won. 94, they made it and lost. 2004, they made it and won. 2014, they made it and lost. And obviously, the last number in those years is the 4, and it's gone loss, win, loss, win, loss. And so 2024, they'll win. But there is more. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, I was sold purely on that fact for 10 years. And then as time goes on, everyone's like, hang on, this and this. So shout out to my dad, actually. He came across this one. The last Bulldogs captain to win a grand final previously played at the Eels, and it was his second year with the Bulldogs when he won the premiership. Reid Marnie is heading into his second year at the Bulldogs. He's captain, and he used to play for the Eels.
Okay, yep. Another...
Andrew Ryan was the captain in 2003, heading into 2004 as well.
No, so he was captain just in the grand final was actually his first time captain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he was like the premiership winning captain.
Right, okay.
Which that's almost like the universe has forced Stephen Price into an injury in the prelim to make Andrew Ryan captain, knowing that Reid Marnie had signed in 20 years' time.
Right.
To keep the pattern. That's just, bit of woo-woo.
Interesting.
You realise the Penrith Panthers exist still, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They come into this.
They come into it, yeah. Shout out to the Panthers. Big friends of the theory. So then there's the Jersey flag part. So in 1983, the Bulldogs won Jersey flag. They won the comp in 1984. In 2003, the Bulldogs won Jersey flag, won the comp in 2004. And then 2023, they won Jersey flag. So every win in the 4 pattern, they've won flag the year before, including they won it this year. So 2024.
I was at the game, by the way.
Okay.
I was there.
There you go.
It was good watch.
Did the universe just feel like it was like a bit of a vibe
I thought the Roosters were going to come back, but then it just, I don't know, they just dominated in the last kind of 20 minutes. And
bit of Carlo Luapu magic.
Yeah, a lot down the wing. Nice goal to win it.
And then the
this
Panthers,
is pretty interesting.
The Panthers come into it here, don't worry. So obviously the Panthers just did a three-peat. The last time a team three-peated, are you aware of who it was, when it was?
Oh,
Nah.
No, I think it was maybe, was it Para?
Yeah, so it was Para in 81 to 83. And then obviously the Bulldogs won in 84. So the last time a team three-peated, the Bulldogs won the next year. And obviously Panthers have just three-peated.
Yeah, wow. That's another one.
In 21, 22, 23, which is like...
Yeah, and it's the same years as well.
It's the same years.
Yeah, so Para did it 1, 2,
I feel like
3.
you're getting some more players come along. If you keep them on the field, just how decimated they were this year, it seems a bit hard to believe that they could be the...
Do you want to know something else that I pointed out? Last time Bulldogs won the comp, Penrith won the comp the year before.
Yeah, in 03.
03.
And the
Bulldogs
last time,
won in 04.
the last time the Bulldogs won the comp 04, they played Eels round 1. They play Eels round 1 this year, or this next season.
The universe wants the Bulldogs to win, but what's your gut feeling?
Gut feeling, Dogs win the comp. On paper, it's hard to believe it, but I spent 10 years battling on. You can't ignore the universe. That's the key thing. Don't ignore the universe.
That's it. I remember the last podcast I was actually going to mention this, but it just went over me because we got wrapped into this conversation. But I remember being so convinced the year that 19, when the Roosters went back to back, that Parramatta were going to win the comp that year because it was a Michael Gordon theory.
Yeah.
So Michael Gordon left the club in 2015, left the Sharks in 2015. They won the comp the next year. He left the Roosters in 2016. They won. No way.
2017.
I fucked up the theory, haven't I?
Storm on 2017, if that helps.
They won 2017, 2018, 2019. Who won 2020?
Storm.
There was a Michael Gordon theory. I don't know.
Did he leave 2016?
No, this is correct because the Roosters, he stayed at the Roosters in 2017. He left the Roosters after 2017 and then he went to Parramatta and then he had a 1-year deal. He left after 2017. So I was convinced that they were going to win in 2018.
Every time he left a club, that club won the next year.
The year
That'd be rather disappointing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that one that used to go around and then it sort of stopped where every time a team cheated the cap, they won 2 years later. So like Dogs 02, 104, Storm 2010, 2012. And then Sharks had the peptide stuff in 2014, 2016.
Wow.
And then Para cheated. When did they get done? I don't remember when they got done, but it was like 2016, 2017.
Something like that.
Oh, imagine if it was 2016. That's them winning 2018. Lines up with the Michael Gordon.
God.
But then Parramatta, I think they're cursed, but we won't get into that.
Interesting. We have a lot to get through today, so let's get into it. NRL news. Madge is the coach of the Blues officially. I've talked about this in a few TikTok videos I've uploaded, but I want to go to you, Timmy, because you have pretty strong thoughts about this.
Oh, you always implies that I've got strong thoughts. Look, I didn't love the idea initially. I feel like the best thing, Queenslanders say that we don't get Origin. I think you kind of want a bloke who's played Origin. I do appreciate that he's an out-and-out coach. He's got experience doing that for quite a fair bit of time. But, yeah, I don't know who the right guy is and what the solution is. But I would have preferred Freddy for another year than...
I think, honestly, he's the perfect guy. And...
Why?
I'm going to convince you right now why he's the perfect guy. Firstly, the New Zealand win over Australia. New Zealand's biggest win over Australia. He was the coach. And he's been the New Zealand coach for a couple of years now, and they've performed really good. He's made tough decisions. But that's not why I think he's the right guy. So I think we've been kind of caught up in this Origin fanfare of, Billy Slater's absolutely killed it as the coach. We need a guy like Billy Slater. We don't have a guy like Billy Slater. Freddie Fittler was that guy.
Yeah, I was about to say, 100%.
We have the likes of Tedesco, Cleary, Latrell Mitchell and Tommy Turbo, who are once-in-a-generation players. And look who the coach was then. I think it was Mal Meninga when they went on their 8 wins in a row. Yeah, he's the kind of figure who can lead them into a really good thing. But, they had Cameron Smith, who was pretty much a coach in himself. So Mal Meninga didn't need to do much. He just needed to get the boys up. And I think that's what Billy Slater does for the Queensland Maroons. He just gets the boys up. He gets them motivated. He picks guys who you think aren't necessarily in form, and they perform out of their skin every single series. And I think that's just because they're looking up to Billy Slater. They don't want to let him down. With these guys for New South Wales, we don't have that. And Freddy, I think he's even a bit earlier than most of these guys. I'm 30 years old and I didn't get to see much of Freddy myself. I saw the back end of his career, and to be honest, from what I saw, I thought Darren Lockyer was a better player as a Queenslander. I thought Joey absolutely shit on him.
Whether or not those players were better or not than Freddy. Freddy was a gun player.
Yeah, 100%.
He was a gun.
100%. I've heard so much about him. But go back to the bloke in a bar interview we heard with Jacob Preston early in the week. That was dropped on Monday?
Sunday, I think.
Sunday. It was dropped on Sunday. He was asked what he thinks of Penrith. And he pretty much said that Penrith, they're just relentless in their systems. They follow their systems to a T, and everyone just buys in. Mm. Penrith is the main core of the New South Wales side, which is how Freddie was picked. And I think what has happened is Freddie did not pick a side to buy into that system. And not necessarily they have to follow the Penrith system, but they weren't all in one direction. And I think Tedesco is probably the middleman in that kind of situation where maybe a backline play was set up and he took a run or something like that. And I hate to shit can Tedesco, but I think he was probably an issue in this series where two kind of systems were clashing. Teddy knows what works. Penrith also know what works. And I think you need to pick a team who completely buys into this system. And someone
more Panthers.
Yeah, exactly. Someone like Madge Maguire is going to have a game plan and pick his team to that game plan, whereas Freddy, hasn't quite shown what it is to be a coach yet. Hasn't quite shown his skills as a coach yet. And I think maybe one day in the future he can show that.
It's a bit hard to say that, though, because you don't get to see behind closed doors. You don't get to have him sort of speaking to you on a one-on-one basis or working with within that team environment. You're just looking at the results, and you're forgetting that he started off as good as what Billy did.
100%, but I feel like that team was raw. They weren't.
My point is, so we didn't have our best players available last year. If Latrell, Turbo, and Nathan was available for the back 2 games, and we had those other 2 boys for all 3, I reckon we could win much easier. And I reckon if they're all available next year, and Madge is the coach, look like Madge is a hero. He knows how to pick a side, and Freddy's this absolute numpty that doesn't know what he's doing, where he needs more respect. That's all
That's true, but I feel like if New South Wales lost and his obvious tactical errors just weren't there, 100%, I'd be all for it. But choosing Tavita Pangai Jr. in Game 1, Stefano Game 2, and dropping these guys after not using them, Nico Hines, Clint Gutson in Game 3,
there were a lot of injuries. There were a lot of guys unavailable.
Yeah,
they were a little bit left field, but I mean, it was his decision to, and it may not have worked out, but I just think they had a better side than us. They were playing a better side.
There was a lot of selection choices that I thought were questionable. We had Nico Hines in Game 1 where there just wasn't a game plan, and after the game he came out and he was like, I didn't really have a plan. I wanted to see how it unfolds. I think you got to have a plan, and Nico Hines is a good player, and you can utilise him off the bench, but you need to know how you're going to utilise him. And then
you need 500 different plans if the game's going this way, that way, or that way. So I think that he basically probably has them in his mind, going, well, I'll see which way the game goes, and then I'll affect that. He's got plans. Yeah. He's just not going, I'm going to bring him on at the 60th minute and do this, because if they're already winning the game, then that's not required, or,
Yeah.
So I just think that the way he's been interpreted may be a bit too hard, and everyone just gets on the fuck, Freddy's a shit.
The other big one for me was playing Cook at centre when you have the likes of Cam Murray,
Liam
Martin, and all the other ones that can play centre, and then coming out and instead of he easily could have come out and said, we were just hoping there wouldn't be an injury, which is pretty fair. You're not going to make a game plan. You don't want to base your whole game plan around covering an injured centre, so you almost get a get out of jail free card by going, we didn't think he'd get hurt. But he came out and said, no, the plan all week was to put Cook at centre. And that
it's
just
super hard
to
cover every position in State of Origin when you've got to have the forward dominant sort of bench.
He had so many second rows that had experience at the centres.
Yeah, he definitely could have dealt with that issue better, but I just think that's a bit too harsh.
That's just one, obviously, and that's just the main one for me, where it was that was a very, very strange decision. And just to
Freddy's a strange guy, man. He's a very strange.
To clarify, personally, with the coaching thing, I was pro giving Freddy another year, but I was also, if Freddy is getting replaced, I called Madge for months ago. I was like, there's not really any other options. That's what you sort of said. You don't know who else there is, and so I agree. I think Freddy probably deserved one more year.
That's why I reckon just at least have him there until the right guy presents at least. Give him another chance.
Yeah. But then, especially like you said, there was the injuries and stuff, so I don't think it would have hurt to give Freddy another year, but at the same time, if he had to leave, which he has, I think Madge was the guy.
I also think all these selections and putting Cook at centre, it kind of took the piss out of Origin a little bit. In my opinion, it didn't seem like he really cared about the result. He wanted to throw.
That's a bit rough.
Obviously he does care about the result, but
if it had worked, he had to make this decision. Obviously, it seems like there's better decisions that stand out when you go, these guys have actually filled in that position, or they're playing one position out from where they're normally playing. If you're playing a second rower there, it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But I know it doesn't look, but he's thinking beach sprinters. He'll be able to.
To Freddie's credit, this isn't the first time he's come out and made crazy decisions. In the 2019 series, he came out in Game 2 and just changed the team up completely, and they put 40 on Queensland in Perth.
How often can you keep doing that? You can't keep doing that. You've got to. You get results out of doing that because you've got young, motivated people coming into the side and you're getting results. But then if you just keep doing that, you're absolutely destroying the culture of the 100%. New South Wales Blues. I think you've got to... People are fighting for their positions every single game, And if Freddy's just dropping and cutting blokes every single time, like they're not gonna.
It's a tough job.
They're not.
There's a lot of pressure on you, man. Everyone's got a fucking opinion and think they could do it. Like every one of us thinks that we could do a better job. You know what I mean? Plus everyone else in the world. It's a hard. Like I reckon I would panic and fucking stick me mum out there in the centres just because I'm like, oh fucking everyone's going. I don't know what to do, mum. Get out there. You know what I mean? Like that's Cookie is probably a mind.
Of course, but
explosion.
I think backing your original decision in the first place is less cowardly than chopping and changing. Because
nearly calling him a coward. Fuck it. Freddie's a little bit of a soft spot for me growing up. Just leave him alone, man.
I've got a bold prediction. New South Wales are going to win the next 3 series. Yeah, and I'm very confident on that. Under Madge, I think he's going to bring a fresh breath. Like, we've got all these absolute guns. We need a coach with a game plan. We don't need a legend just, like, leading them out and motivating them because they already know. They've already got the motivation, these professional
And I reckon
players.
if we win the next 3, it'll be because we've got our best players available, not because Madge has come down there and waved his magic wand, to be fair, but that's okay.
All right.
You want to be hard on Buddy Freddy? I'll be a little bit rough.
Did that feel like controversy corner for a second?
I felt like I was on NRL 360. I'm breath over here. We got bloody Buzz and Kenty going at it.
Yeah, I'll fucking punch your missus, mate.
I don't have a missus. You can smash her if you want.
An article came out on the NRL website that are short dropouts on the rise, and I think this hasn't been talked about a lot this season. I just wanted to touch on it quickly. They've got the stats of Melbourne, Cowboys, Warriors, and the Dogs here. And the 31 attempts, 27 attempts, 27 attempts, 27 attempts for respective clubs. 21 unsuccessful, 18 unsuccessful, 18 unsuccessful. 10 successful.
Yeah, that's a bit hard to know. You're saying numbers now, man. We need some percentages.
So, pretty much...
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good play.
Out of 31 attempts for the Storm, 10 was successful. Cowboys, 27, 9 was successful.
Pretty much 30%.
A lot of clubs like, if you're not going to get the ball back, a lot of clubs like to defend on the line. They find it easier to defend on the line rather than to give people that sort of good space where they've got a bit of more room to sort of play out the back. So I don't mind it. Get the ball back if you don't. And like, boys, one set.
It's funny because it says 21 unsuccessful here for the Melbourne Storm, which is very similar to all the other sides. Unsuccessful doesn't mean they got scored against.
Yeah.
When it happened, it just means the other side still
didn't
got
get the ball back.
Yeah. Like they're going to get the ball anyway if you do a long dropout. So I think they're here to stay, to be honest.
I think depending on, you got to get a good feel for the game. There's times where it's like, just bloody get it down the other end of the field, man. What are you doing, bloody fiddle? And when it depends, it's scoreboard dependent too. Like if you're 6 up and you're going to just kick it out and do like, I've seen like a trail just do a few, like, wow, whoops, and then 2 points.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
It's very clock dependent and scoreboard dependent, 100% the vibe of the game. I read that article and there was a couple of things where like Nico said that I think Sharks were the least, they attempted it the least, and it was because other wingers are like taller where the Sharks don't have like as tall wingers, and so they take that sort of stuff into consideration. I know Burden was quoted a lot in the article and he sort of said how, because the Bulldogs do it a lot, and he said they just think it's like a good roll of the dice. Sort of pretty much what you said, where
Matty Burton does seem like the guy I'd want to take to Star City and just sort of play a bit of...
He's got big balls. He loves
he does seem like
He loves a risk. But yeah, he said like pretty 50-50 where you get it back, you cheer him, but otherwise, you got a defender set. He feels like the reward outweighs the risk. I think I'll just agree with you. You said like if it's so dependent on scoreboard. You can't come out and say we're doing it or we're not doing it. It depends on the situation in the game.
They get the ball back either way. They've got the ball in a pretty good position. So you're like, we don't want them to have that. Let's get the ball back. And if we can't,
as you said, a lot of teams do prefer to just defend the line because it stops shape out the back. Like if you're defending the Broncos, I'd rather defend 5 meters out than 30 meters out.
They probably train a lot more on the line as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So they're probably used to it.
With defence. Yeah, I think it's definitely on the way up, and like this year we saw so much of it. I can't believe it hasn't happened earlier, to be honest.
I remember back when Des was coaching the Dogs, we started doing it a little bit, and then there was like a couple of years where like everyone stopped doing it, or like we stopped doing it and nobody else was doing it, and then it just crept back in. What
are your thoughts on first kickoff of the game, round 1, short little grubber straight 10 metres. And you know how Oztag, you do the little
in my
short
high school footy side, Mr. Stewart, shout out to him. He was a legend, this bloke. But that's all we did. You'd kick it, you'd just grubber it. Like, even, we didn't have to be to the 10 metre line, but you'd kick it as hard as you bloody could along the ground. And people, like they're not elite. They're not elite in high school at this stage.
In under 18s, we were terrible. We literally lost a game 36-0 once. And our coach said to us, like at training, Thursday at training, he's like, all right, boys, we're going to practice short kickoffs because every time you kick long, the front row is getting to the 40 anyway. So we'll just do a short kickoff. And we literally all took it in turns at doing short kickoffs. I was unlucky. I feel like I was robbed as the short kicker-offerer.
Yeah, kicker-offerer.
Because if I stand there and I boot it as hard as I can, it's only going 10 anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm perfect for a short kickoff, but I didn't get the job. Actually, funny story just quickly as well. Our 5'8" in that side actually kicked a kickoff backwards once. Yeah, I don't, and it wasn't even windy. He just it was a terrible kick.
Was it up in the sky? Like he tried to do one of them ones?
I think he was going for a short kick and then literally kicked it backwards. It was terrible. He also missed a kick for touch that game.
Or something.
Oh my god!
Actually, I don't know if I should call him out, but he's got a relative he's got a brother playing in the NRL.
What team?
Warriors.
You
can do a Google later. You know where I'm from? So search
Jackson
up
Ford.
Nah. From like where I grew up. It's like NRL grid.
You go up and fuck a Tony, bro?
Wade Egan. Oh, wow.
It wasn't him though. It was a brother. But yeah.
But just on NRL grid, do you feel like that's massive at the moment?
Yeah.
Who created that?
I don't know.
But like I remember you were doing NRL bingo.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
And Cast Patrol
it
as well.
did it all the time. Like they were really pumping it in the off season, and then NRL grid came.
Yeah.
Where'd it come from? Obviously, it's not an original idea. Like it's still taken from somewhere else. But who started this wave?
Yeah, it's a bit of a. They haven't put a name to it, have they? I know they started a Twitter account, but it's just called NRL Grid. There's no name to whoever started it, but. Shout out to them. If they can get some ads running on that, I think they might make some money.
If they're listening right now, just pick a category.
I think they're our three biggest listeners. There was Jerome Lilly from last week that we were talking about. I think it was the week before might have been Nathan Cleary.
They're putting your
also
topics in.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, when does this drop? Thursday? Wednesday?
The audio will drop tonight. They'll drop tonight.
Go Thursday's NRL Grid. I don't know what that date is, but put Matt Burton in it. As a topic, like Matt Burton teammate.
Matt Burton teammate.
Yeah.
Matt Burton teammate and Ryan Girdler.
There you go.
Teammate the day after.
Yeah.
You're doing a bit of chest flexing through this episode, mate. What's going on? You want to fucking fight or something?
I did chest this morning.
No,
so I'm like,
what's going on here?
Am I actually?
Yeah, relax, bro. Relax.
Have you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Terry Crews and he's just...
Oh, yeah.
Roll those sleeves down and chill out, bro. What's he...
Relax.
Yeah.
Trying to power move us.
I'm just trying to have a chat, man. If you want to turn this into something physical, man, me and Winston here will fucking smash
Sorry,
you.
I've got a chest pump at the moment, so
relax, man.
Came with the excuses as well, just in case he got caught.
It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, chill out, man.
I actually got called out for rolling my sleeves out the other day.
Yeah, well, let's address it. You do it all the time. What is that?
I don't know, because I don't like long sleeves.
Those sleeves aren't that long.
You just got to back the sleeves
that
that
look
it comes
normal?
with. Yeah, just leave them, man. You don't want to be rolling them up,
I had
man.
a kid that I went to school with. He used to always roll his sleeves up, and the principal literally came out, sprayed him on the playground. He's like, "The girls do it, why can't I?" And he convinced all us boys to roll the sleeves up. And we went like a week. Everyone had their sleeves rolled up. It was so funny.
That's where it started for me. Year 10,
Yeah,
we had like white shirts that were really baggy.
Yeah, that's what we had.
And I'm a bit taller than my frame is, so like I always. It's either the shirt's really...
Doesn't make any sense. I'm a bit taller than my frame is what? So you've got this frame, there's all this extra bit of that's just like
Gumby or something.
No, so either a shirt is really like...
To get the shirt length, you need big sleeves, is what you mean. Like you've got a long torso like a sausage dog.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That does make a little bit of sense.
And you look like you're the same. Like you're...
No, I'm ripped, mate. What do you mean? I'm short. I'm the opposite.
You got a sleeper build.
I'm short.
You got a sleeper build.
Talking a bit of tactics here.
Yeah, we are talking tactics. Actually, talking tactics. I think we've got to do something about our Facebook group.
What Facebook group?
We have a Facebook group, and it's got like there's about 4,000 people in there, and
That's a decent number.
Nothing is posted in it.
Well, what do they do in there?
Is it a Supercoach group or a podcast group?
It's for our podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Also, I've learned something about the internet. So, if you watch porn, you get more followers on your socials.
Oh, is that where them bots come from?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've been removing them just so like I want to look like PG. I don't want to just be full of like as a reflection of my porn watching. You know what I mean?
They're usually gone within a week or two.
I'm removing them like
because Instagram or like whatever.
Yeah.
Cuts them anyway.
Yeah, so I'm getting a few of them, which is like moving up my likes. But I'm being organic and genuine with my followers. I've got very few, but
have you made a post yet?
Nah.
On Instagram?
Nah, I'm waiting for something really good to post, eh? Like,
are you a Panthers fan?
Yeah.
What do you like post about the 3?
Nah, look, I'm not going to force it. I'm not a forced contact guy. I'm a sort of
after that, so a bit late to the party. Anyway, back
my
to
name was originally the Lurker, so
Bro,
I'm
when the Bulldogs win one grand final, like everyone will be unfollowing me. There's going to be so much. I'll be live streaming from Belmore.
Oh yeah, even you posted something about the doggies the other week, and I commented saying, "Give it up."
Yeah.
And like when I asked you to come on today, I'm like, fuck,
are we beefing?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't
I was going to go Shay. I was like, fire out. Hey, this bloke. I thought I blocked you, actually. I only came, once I leave, I'll block you.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's standard. But yeah, back to the Facebook group. I think we've got to name it like the team or something. And like...
The team.
And like this podcast can be the runner of the group. And you know how like... we were talking about it before, Hello Sport do their baggies. We should do something like a top 13. So, like, you're on a train and trial at the moment.
And call it like instead of like a baggy rent, it's like a jersey prezzo.
Jersey presentation.
You get your jersey.
I was actually thinking bucket hats because they're a bit more, like, versatile to wear. But jersey presentation makes sense,
bit of rugby league
it?
Jersey. Yeah, like you get the jersey prezzo. But
is anyone wearing a jersey in public?
Fuck, let's just copy the idea exactly. Let's just it's getting a bit like, we got different type of hats. Oh, fuck it, we're doing baggy greens. Let's change the name of the fucking show. I'll be Eddie, you can be Tom.
I'll take Dior.
Yeah.
I'm now a communist.
I feel like we've got some segments we haven't even addressed yet. How have we got a free space? Is Billy waiting outside with the shits? Or I'm always worried about the time here because I feel like we've been hamming on for it. What do you think we're not recording? Why are you going head in hands for?
He hasn't recorded. Oh my god!
No way. No way.
Surely not.
He legit hasn't recorded.
Surely not. Surely not.
This has been pretty good.
It's been good content, bro.
It's been brilliant content.
There's no way we can replicate it either.
No.
Can't even start again. I just feel like I can pull this one out and fucking see you next week. We've been going on for about 45 minutes.
Recording now.
No, there's no point.
There's no point in doing it again because
there's no point even record. Like, we don't have enough to make an episode. We've been going for at least half an hour, 45.
Oh, we'll upload the audio.
Oh, you have the audio?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something.
We've recorded the audio.
As long as you got the audio.
Well, at least we got something, for fuck's sake.
If you need it, this here, I actually had this happen with the Hectic Fred episode, first ever guest episode.
Yeah.
Because I film on my phone and it died mid-episode and the video's gone. And I'm like, what do I do? But I got lucky. It ended up coming back, but I just put like a still of us.
Do you know what? We'll see if we can get put into the big boys' room for next week or something like that. Just as a bit of accommodation for...
I'll tell you what I'm annoyed at. What am I annoyed at? We had some good, like that Bulldogs thing. Yeah. You recreating that.
The problem is the clips.
Like that's... Yeah, like I don't care about the long version. Oh, I do care about the long version.
Yeah, but you can just put that on YouTube. People listen to it on YouTube. You know what I mean? People listen rather than watch.
Yeah, I still will because it'll be half an episode. But
yeah, I'd still put the episode on YouTube because that's if I go to watch a show, I only watch stuff on YouTube mainly. Just
like
because
I've had me and Zane had an episode where we just did. I literally just had the Orange Peelers logo.
Yeah,
and like it did good numbers.
Oh yeah.
Because they listen, but the problem is the clips.
Recording this,
no, because we can still get clips out of it, like
in the second half. Yeah, but that just hurts because there was a lot of clippable stuff in the first half.
There was a lot of clippable stuff. There was so much.
Oh, let's not.
Good listen.
Let's not reflect on the past.
Shout out to the Spotify listeners and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, shout out to...
Thanks for being with us.
Stay patient, Doggies fans, because you're not getting your clip today.
Yeah, stay patient,
You're going
TikTok
to have to
fans.
say it again before we leave. No, but that was so natural, that first line. Anyway.
It is what it is.
Oh, it is what it is.
I'm starving too.
You're starving?
Yeah, I haven't eaten yet today. It's just even too hot.
Mate, you had a
to
coffee.
Eat. Yeah, I know. I've had about fucking 100 coffees. I
Isn't
love
that
coffee.
going to go straight through you?
No, I've got control over it.
I had an Indian butter chicken the other night, ordered it hot, straight through.
Oh, God. The other night, I don't know what I ate. I think I ate off cheese or something. And me and my daughter... Yeah,
Does cheese go off? Usually it just goes blue and people eat
just
blue
gets
cheese
more
all the time.
expensive, yeah.
No,
it just gets more expensive.
But it was... I ate it and I thought I was sick, but my daughter was like farting everywhere. And I was like,
Jesus.
She doesn't usually fart too much because she's a lady.
Is it something you can shower on a 21st?
All right, let's get to our moment series. We've been killing it with the moment series, and we've been uploading each. At least we got the video for this to do. We did the doggies the other week. I'm a bit gutted that I didn't have you on for the doggies one.
I was in your comments too, don't worry.
You were in the comments, and I actually pitched this idea to you early.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny actually? So I went back through our DMs to get the address.
Yeah.
And I found, because I remembered, like, you pitched me an idea, didn't remember what the idea was, except it was just off season.
Yeah.
And when you started this, I was like, oh, I wonder if, like, that was it.
Yeah.
And then I went back through and I was like, oh, this is exactly what it is.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I haven't brushed you.
I got cut.
I just think, like, you're in Wollongong. I don't want to expect you to come all the way every week just to fulfill my cup.
Yeah. I feel like I should have blocked him, eh? He's coming from the podcast. He comes out trashing me. It's like, maybe I should have blocked you, eh?
Doggies 13 plus. We'll start with the Dolphins. What is their best moment, Timmy?
Oh, jeez.
Sorry,
I haven't got me bloody phone out, mate.
I'll go to you, Winston.
Yeah, hang on. Let me get the phone out.
Okay, well, I'll kick it off.
I know it off the top of my head, and I feel like surely we all have this one.
Yeah, I think we all got it.
Roosters round one.
Yeah, 100%.
They were paying over $6. Shout out to PickleBet, not Nad, but Nad. Came out, ended up winning. I think they won by like a decent wicket as well, and just shocked the nation. Got everyone behind them. Fins up. Incredible.
They won by like two, 3 tries that game. Jermaine Osako, Hammer came out, absolutely killed it.
Ruined some multis.
Ruined a lot, but I think that's what you get when you bet hard in round one.
Especially if you're betting against a team you've never seen play.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Bet against Wayne Bennett round one.
I've got just the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Starting with a bang. They went 3 from 3, proving the critics wrong. I mean, most people, kind of had them on. If they got 3 wins for the season, it'd be probably about where they'd be at, and then they did it straight up. So that was.
Mate, I'm
good.
happy if the Dogs win 3 games all year.
Well, they were 3 from 5 at the start of the season.
Well, Dolphins were 3 from 3, even better.
Well, I think I'll tie this into their most defining, like their best moment. Them first 3 games pretty much set the platform, and I think that was their most defining moment, like starting so good and proving that they're going to be a club, not going to be a club that just folds and loses every week, which allowed them to sign the likes of Averillo, Farnworth.
Some pride in the jersey.
Some pride
Established that early.
Like, obviously, there's a bit of going about them with the club, so they've made some good signings before towards the end of the season when they started losing a couple, but I think by then their injuries just hit them. So
yeah, it was the depth that like I remember on Orange Pillars, me and Sam were sitting there talking about like,
hey mate, you've been shouting out your fucking show a fair bit, eh? Like one or two's all right, but
we're in off-season break. We're not even recording episodes. I need to keep it up somehow. Got to keep the lights on, but the depth just hurt them because they were doing so good, and we thought like we were sitting there going like they could win the comp, like. They're like, as the outsiders, obviously, like they're not going, but we're like, there's a world where Wayne Bennett like wins a comp first year with the Dolphins, and then they just sort of fell off after the depth hit them.
Then you remember the Penrith Panthers still exist. Okay, so most defining, we skipped over the worst. Most defining, I think, pretty obvious, I reckon, is Sean O'Sullivan going down for the time.
Sean O what?
Sean did I pronounce it like yeah, like, come on, man. I did my best. Sean O'Sullivan. Sean O'Sullivan, is that good?
Sullivan.
Yeah.
SOS.
Did I do it with like a T, an F or something?
Sean O'Sutherland, I think you said. Yeah, just kind of when you say CTWs, you're like CWTs.
Yeah, look, I did my best, all right? I reckon that was rough for them. They sort of had to rely on Milf was sort of a guy that could do a job for him, but he was playing some really good footy even the year prior to, so I think that really hurt them.
Yeah, the same. I thought, the SOS injury, that's, like, as we just said, like, we just sort of touched on how the depth really hurt him, but that was, like, one of the first injuries, and that was just a pile on from there, and their half depth in particular wasn't great. Like, they were starting with SOS, and then Katoa, who was, like, a rookie. And so you had Nikorima come in, you had Milford come in, and, like, they did all right.
Got another one, boys.
Yeah.
How much porn have you been watching?
Look, I don't know if it's a reflection, but look, I don't watch that much. I'm usually very imaginative and don't require it. But, yeah, you know what I'm like.
You know what I'm like? You just met him today.
I can tell.
Sorry, what's your name again?
You just met him today.
No, he knows. He's a massive fan. Massive fan of the podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
What's their worst moment?
Worst moment, I've got two here. Let me get back out of that. So I've got either the first half against the Titans in round 8 being down 26 points after 28 minutes.
But then they
did come back and win
it up with their best moment.
Yeah. Round 15 when Manly smashed them 58-18.
Yeah.
I think that is their worst moment.
It probably is, yeah.
They had established themselves as an effort side, a defensive sort of unit, and that was sort of a bit of a game where they went, fuck it. And I think it was the game that, what's his name, the centre, he was playing fullback, usually plays in the centres.
Oh, Hammer.
No, for the Manly side.
Oh, Garrick.
No, Garrick was playing centre.
Instead of
what's the little fella?
Cooler,
yeah. I think he was having blinders.
No,
that
wasn't it.
Wasn't that game? Okay.
No, Tommy was playing that game.
Was he?
Yeah, Tommy scored 165 super.
Does he play?
Points. What?
Does Tommy Turbo play in RL?
What do you think? What are you talking about, mate? What are you talking about? He's the best player in the NRL.
I forgot he existed today.
Well, sometimes I do too, unfortunately.
But yeah, that smashing was not good for them.
They lost in a similar fashion to Parramatta as well.
Not as much, but yeah.
Not as
Especially
much.
the first half against Parramatta was really bad. Outside of that, there were two games where, so the Tigers one where Appy kicked the goal at the end, they lost by the sideline conversion, which has to hurt. And then also against the Bulldogs, they lost by missing a sideline conversion. So they had a couple of moments.
And Matt Burton, did he kick
the first half field goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a 40-metre?
It wasn't a 2-pointer, but it was just a first half field goal, yeah.
I remember.
I think losing to either, like, losing by missing a sideline conversion or the other team kicking one. What do you reckon's worse?
Probably losing to another side doing it.
Yeah.
Because I reckon if you miss it, it was in your hands to do it.
True, yeah.
Whereas, like, you're just waiting and hoping they miss, and then when they kick it, it's just...
It's almost a credit to the other team rather than, we suck.
Yeah, good season by them. But moving on to the Cowboys' best, worst, and most defining... Tigers. Tigers best and worst.
Yeah, that's what I had. I've got a saying, I've always said this, that where there's a best moment, there's a worst moment.
Yeah.
And so, for example, Cowboys' best moment, flogging the Tigers. Tigers' worst moment, being flogged. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that rings true with the Cowboys. Their best moment was flogging the Tigers, and their worst moment was being flogged by the Tigers.
I guess that's
Balance.
why a lot of our things have kind of overlapped as well. Like a lot of people's worst moments have been with their best. What are yours?
I've got best is Scotty Drinkwater's form from the second part of the season.
Yep.
I just thought that was
Yeah.
fucking red hot.
I like that.
Outside of the Tigers win as a best moment, their win against the Panthers in Golden Point. Obviously, Panthers were out with Origin, but just the Scotty Drinkwater try late in Golden Point was mad. That was so good.
That was good. And at that point...
Out to the left-hand side of the field. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny, at that point, around that point, I remember you saying to me that Gus Gould pretty much shed on record that
they're the only side that could beat us.
Cowboys are the team that can beat Penrith. And
because of the Origin contingent.
Yeah, he told me about it, and I just thought about it, and I was convinced that...
Had they had more wins under their belt and made the top 4 or something, then they may have been in a better position. But I still think that the Broncos are a better side than they are.
Yeah, but I think that's why this is my most defining. You did say had they had more wins, you think they could have ruffled feathers, and I think they would have had more wins if Valentine Holmes wasn't suspended for them last 4 games of the season.
Yeah, 100%.
That or even Scott Drinkwater's suspension at the start of the season. We saw how he came back. If they had him to bank some more games early on, I think it could have gone differently, but them two moments, I think they're by far the most defining.
So I've tied in worst and most defining as the same as the Cowboys' start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
So they went win, loss, loss, win, loss, 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 win, loss. Their first 10 games I'd pretty much penciled in as all wins.
Yeah.
Especially for Supercoach, I went pretty dominant on them. And I just think that was really defining for their season, considering they were such an elite side the year prior. Everyone expected them to start well and go well. And I think that really set them up for a year that was not good. They didn't end up making the 8.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot more expectations of them this year, I think. And teams just being more up to verse them. I thought the losses to Tigers and Bulldogs very defining because like they're both bottom 3 teams, and you just can't lose those games if you want to be playing finals footy.
It's funny because the Bulldogs' best moment was that field goal, and
exactly.
That's where a lot of it does tie over.
And then losing to the Tigers by that much, like you just can't do that.
How does that happen?
Like they were the wooden spoon. The Tigers. And then they beat them by 74. It's just like, how does that happen?
Yeah. Do you think they're in for a bounce back next year?
I think they can bounce back. I don't know if they will.
But that top 8 has gotten better. I think the last 2 years was their time to strike.
Because the top 8's gotten better, and there's once again teams that will improve. And you look at like Eels missed the top 8, Souths missed the top 8, and they're teams that should be competing as well.
And you expect them to make the top 8 next year after missing out. Parramatta.
Speak of the devil.
We're going to do 4 teams because we realise we're not going to finish this by the end of the year if we don't do 4 a week. But we've got 3 of us today, and this podcast has already been going for a long time. So we're going to finish with the Eels. I think this is a very good lot of teams. We'll start off with their best moment, Timmy.
Yeah, I sat here, I went through the whole season, game after game, and I got nothing.
Really?
I don't have anything that's the best for them. I just think that that's it was disappointing as a whole. I don't think there was much good.
It's funny because a lot of teams that beat Penrith this year, we've put in that beat Penrith moulds. They beat Penrith early in the year, but I think at that point, that was 0-3. They needed to do that. You can't define that as their best moment because it was...
It was around.
Especially, I don't think it was the best moment. They've already got the wood over us in a lot of games. They've often beat us in recent history.
That was round 4. They lost the first 3 games.
Yep.
Mitch Moses just re-signed, and then obviously Nathan Cleary stepped up, kicked arguably the greatest field goal ever. I guess you'd probably go greatest regular season field goal.
So maybe the Mitchell Moses to win that game would be their best moment, just because it was. But it was an easy kick. But he was just like, give it to me, bang, and did it with so much confidence.
Yeah,
but it was beating reigning premiers.
But he was like 10 metres out.
They needed a win like desperately.
I just think at that point of the season, that win got them off the mark, and they were still like well out of the 8. They needed to keep going to get their season going. So I can't put it as a best moment for them. I've put down the bye period. So I know Gutho and Supercoach absolutely killed it throughout that bye period. So they smashed the Knights, they smashed Manly. That bye period really helped them because they just didn't have all the players leaving like every other team. But yeah, that's probably their best moment.
I've got a few. Ironically, I'm a Bulldogs fan, but I've got a few Eels fan friends. Shout out to them if they're listening. But they love, like as Eels fans, they love their win in Indigenous round against the Rabbits when they upset the Rabbits, and that actually started the Rabbits fall off. Yeah, and that was a big win. And obviously, like they didn't end up making the 8, but at the time it was a really big, good win.
And they only got ruled out of the 8 like with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, that was a good win.
Yeah, so, a lot of Eels fans regard that as the biggest.
I think we definitely can put that there.
Yeah,
and that's easily there. Their worst moment.
I had the opening 3 weeks where they lost 3 games in a row by 4 points. Yep. Golden Point round 1. I think the Manly one was round 2. It was 2 or 3. Yeah, and that was like a crazy last 10 minutes where both teams just scored like 6 tries between them. Game. And the Eels came very close, but then lost by 4. And lost the first 3 weeks by 4. Had they won any of those games, they play finals footy, which hurts. But
so I've just got their worst moment as not making the 8 after being grand finals the year prior. They also had a 54-10 loss in round 26. Yeah. It's a bit of
the Broncos one.
Yucky way to end the season.
Yeah. Well, at that point, they needed to win that state.
That was must.
Contention,
That was must win. I think Moses got injured that game. There was that Herbie Farnworth try where he jogged over backwards and scored. That was just a slap in the face.
Yeah,
but it was also mad.
Yeah, it was mad.
As a Bulldogs fan, that was sick.
I think that's definitely their worst loss and most defining. Dylan Brown.
Yeah, 100%. And there was a few other. So obviously that was an off-field incident. There was also the Regan Campbell-Gillard injury, where against the Broncos he did his, I think not ACL, but he suffered an injury from a hip drop tackle. Was out for like 8 weeks. They missed him a lot. I know there was a game where Gutho, I think either got injured or suspended.
Payne
and they
Haas
lost a couple. Yeah.
I remember being quite critical of that.
Yeah, Gutho. Yeah, there was a couple games where they were missing Gutho, and they lost. So I think their injuries and then suspensions hurt them, especially the Dylan Brown one.
Interesting.
Because you look at the ladder, one win puts them in the A. One win. There's so many.
It's funny because the Rabbitohs and the Cowboys, they're all in the same position. They just needed to win one more game, and. I think
3 teams that you really just think that they all should have found their way in there. I'm surprised that just one of them, even if one of them was out of the 8, but to have all 3.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident that they can come back. All 3.
Oh, all 3, yeah, agreed.
I'd probably put Cowboys at the bottom of that list, but I definitely think the Rabbitohs and Parramatta will be up there this year. They won't let...
And they'll be expected to be up there as well. Yeah. The off-season isn't going to have people going, oh, it's okay to miss it again. They're expected to be there.
Well, the media probably paint the Rabbitohs in that sort of light, but once the season kicks off, it'll be apparent that they've got Latrell Mitchell, they've got Cody Walker. All right, that's it for the moments for this week. Let's move on to Burster of the Week. You've been pretty excited about sharing yours today, so I think I'll go to you.
You walked in here and just were going, I've got the best Burster of the Week out of all of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I even sprinted out from my house to the car.
You did too?
Yeah, just
on the burst.
Yeah, pretty hard. Felt like Dalfinukin at the time. Do you know another thing? Because in the shopping centres, they've got those things when you walk from the loading docks that you've got to... They sort of those dangly things that you've got to push through.
Yeah.
Every time I walk through them, I pretend I'm sort of running onto the footy field. Fucking, and the crowd's like...
I usually try and do that with sliding doors and just run into the door because it doesn't open fast enough. Concussion season.
So my burster...
I always play... you know what the music Parramatta walk out to? It's like... Dunlin, Dunlin.
Yeah.
I think it's the game music or something. Yeah. Or is it Penrith that walk out to that after the
we walk out to Hell's Bells.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always like putting that on in the car before I go to my 9 and 5 and sit behind a desk all day.
All right, my burster.
Burster of the week.
Okay. I love rugby league. It's my only sport I'm very passionate about. The others, take them or leave them. Don't believe them more often than take them. But I love the fucking Olympics. Hey, ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved the Olympics. And the Olympics are coming around this year.
Yeah, Paris.
The next year, yep. I don't know much about how much the Pacific Games or translates to Olympics. I don't is it like a shit horse that runs and doesn't get to go in the Melbourne Cup? I don't know. But this guy, his name's Caleb Law.
Yeah.
He's an Australian. Look him up. He was I watched him smoke. Him and another guy smoked in the 100 these other blokes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, very nice, first and second. And then came across another thing. It was this Caleb Law smoking him in the 200, smoking him in the 400.
Bit of Usain Bolt about him.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I think he looks very fast. It is only the Pacific Games, maybe not up against the bigger dogs yet, and I don't know how to measure times, but...
How fast did he do it?
Looks a bit like Josh Giddey.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he also likes 15-year-olds.
Well, he's 18, so
what was his
closer
time?
to his age.
Do you remember his time?
No, I can't. I know that
10:36.
9's amazing, 10 low 10's
10:36.
Yeah, but no, he was fast. Okay, he was very fast, and keep an eye out for him. He's an future Australian hero. Future Australian hero.
Could be anything.
Hero.
Yeah, good.
I went Madge Maguire locking up the New South Wales coaching role. Came out, answered some hard-hitting questions in the press conference. I know Bulldog Richie went after him.
Do you know what I thought was gross though? Yeah. I know this is your segment, but do you hate?
Not my segment.
Do you hate? Oh, you're part of this guy. Do you hate Queenslanders? I grew up hating Queenslanders. It's just such. It seemed like a generic. Everyone says it, right? But I just don't even like the question.
I love Nico Hines, but remember when he come out and said it? It was so awkward for him to say
he's such
I
a
hate
good guy
Queen.
too.
Yeah. No, you're lying. You don't
But
hate
like,
anyone.
like you're asking the New South Wales coach, do you hate Queensland? What, like, even if he doesn't, like, what's he meant to say? Like, oh no, I actually like him. Like, obviously he's going to say no. It's
like
question.
one way or the other. He's like one of the filthy. I'd like him just to commit. Be like, no, fuck.
Oh, you want him to go just all out, like, almost go red and like storm,
or be like, no, I've got great respect for them. They're a wonderful football team. Hopefully we can beat them. Either one or the
if he
other.
came out and said that, I would be very anti-Madge.
One or the other.
I'd hate him.
My best of the week.
No, I cut him off. No. Please tell your Madge. Just
that was
tell
pretty
you
much it.
Madge.
No, that was pretty much it. It was just.
No,
You're happy with the way he's received?
Yeah, I was pretty much finished. It was just Madge came out in the press conference and just like a cricketer, just blocking shots. The questions were flying at him. He just held his own, and I don't know if I'd say he's got my respect yet. You know, respect's earned, not given, but I'm not off him yet, so that's something.
I think we're
respect has to be earned by me. I still
you just give out respect.
Yeah, don't say it to Timmy.
Do you like to give out respect?
Oh, not to Madge Maguire.
Yeah, true.
He's disrespecting Freddy. Disrespecting
true.
Freddy.
Yeah, true.
His love for Freddy has blinded the
big Freddy guy.
Big Freddy guy.
Huge Freddy
My
guy.
cat's name's Freddy.
The actual. There you go.
But it's more so for Freddie Mercury than Freddie Fittler, but it was a bit of a
I had a lot of pets named after Bulldog players. I had Haslam, Sherwin, Pat. Like, this is dead set. Patton. I had Willie. I'd hate Sonny. Like, dead set.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Shocking. I'll go for the Bulldogs. Hey.
Blind rankings.
No, that's not all cats. That's
no
not
time.
Cats.
No, I'll do my burster of the week.
Oh yeah.
It's actually,
Cut him off now.
I don't know if you remember the bloke that threw a party years ago.
Oh, yeah.
His name's Corey Worthington.
The Sonny's guy.
I was at that party.
Well,
No, but I'm old enough that I could have been. I think we're about the same age.
yeah, no, he was a bit older than me.
You were
but
there, you're like 30 years
a news article came out the other day and a full piece on him, absolutely hammering him because he got done for assault. He's got a 1 year good behaviour bond. He went and bashed this disabled bloke.
Why is he our burster of the week?
Yeah, what?
No, here's a bit of context. So he went to this bloke's house, bashed the fuck out of him, and they're painting Corey in the bad light, which maybe rightfully so, but
Probably
the
shouldn't bash
story
disabled
he
blokes.
tells, his girlfriend went and bought weed from him, and he sexually assaulted the girlfriend. So he went over.
Who, the dealer?
The dealer who was disabled.
So he's bashing a sexual.
He's making a police matter. I don't know for that one.
It was a police matter, but he got charged.
I guess what are you going to do? Hey, look, my missus just went around to pick up a 50. Weed was pretty good, but...
No, but because he went around and bashed this guy, they didn't take it to the police. He took it in his own hands, and he's charged him for assault. Corey Worthington's on the bad end of it, and I don't know what the story is, but if the story is true...
Do you know anything about the disability? It's a disability
He was just in a
broad.
wheelchair. He was an
wheelchair.
old codger.
That seems
Just
a
an
bit
old
rough,
codger.
doesn't it? It seems like it's a bit uneven.
I'm sorry, if you
field.
can sexually assault someone...
Yeah, I'm pro. Look, this is like getting pretty political, but
Well,
I'm
at least make it on equal playing fields. At least rock up in a wheelchair and say, let's...
It's
like,
play
roll
on to
outside,
bash
bro.
somebody that does that sort of stuff, but it's also not play on to bash a disabled person. So
Yeah, you got to be the bigger man sometimes, you know. Two wrong. And if you flex one more time, man, I'm going to have you, man.
What am I doing?
Sick of your fucking chest.
you're like Maui from Moana.
I've watched
You
a
just
lot of
need the
Moana
tats.
lately. Fucking hell.
Is it making you nervous?
It's scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not getting put off by
Oh,
it.
really? I
Makes
don't
me
even think
self-conscious.
Actually, my wife tells me not to do it either.
Well, we're going to be getting trained by MG this coming
we are too.
weeks. We'll see how good those...
That's
chest
why he
flexes
likes the
can be.
tight shirt. So
I've
you
got
can
my
see
Christmas
it.
party this Friday night too, so I am going... and I'm not holding back either. So I'm going to send it, and I'm going to come in on Saturday morning, probably dusty as fuck. Bring it on, MG. You're a coward.
What are you doing on Saturday?
MG is training us.
Yeah, okay.
And we're his sister's going to record it for us.
Yeah, nice.
And it's going to be part of the podcast, or maybe just a short clip. It's definitely going to be a vlog on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Though.
Stay
Blind
tuned.
rankings, Timmy.
Yeah, I got one. So this is for you, Winston surf shirt.
Winston surf shirt.
Yeah, it's a band.
Yeah, okay. I usually get Winston Churchill or Winston with a Y.
I'd imagine you get that a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Is it annoying? It's kind of like there's a guy who does a podcast. He's a comedian. His name's Billy.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a good chance we'll get him on one day because he's just always before
Always
or
here,
after
yeah.
us, and we'll just ask him one day. But I could imagine My first question is going to be, tell us a joke. And he's a comedian. I bet you he gets that all the time.
Yeah,
it's probably like the
100%.
most annoying thing ever. Continue, Timmy. Sorry.
All right, so blind rankings for you,
Yeah.
Winston. The title is
Another topic.
Doggies Forwards.
Doggies forwards, current or all time?
I've gone all time, but
Yeah,
I've
okay.
tried to not be back into,
Not back
when
in
Jesus was playing.
Yeah, not back in 1935.
half back for him. Yeah.
When the Bulldogs Hall of Fame was running around.
Are you ready?
No. Okay, now I'm ready.
All right, good. Steve Price.
So you're going. So it's prop second row lock. That's like just all the forwards.
Props and second rows, pretty much.
Far out. I know my mum's going to be watching this and she loves Steve Price, so this is why it's hard. I'm going to put Steve Price. Give me him at number 3.
Okay. I think 3 is always a good way to open up.
Yeah, because then you can go either way.
Get to see where you're at.
Oh, that's what Big Tommy Cooper did last night, and he didn't go very deep into the line.
Okay.
Great.
James Graham.
Yeah, I had him in mind. I'm going to put him at number 2.
2.
It's all right, I can remember these.
Okay. I can't.
I don't even remember who we've said so far.
Steve Price. James
Sonny
Graham.
Bill.
Good order.
Oh. I'm going to put him at 4.
Nice.
Okay, 4. We'll lock that in.
Actually, nice. You know what? Change it to 5. He's a dog. He walked out on the club.
Dog.
He's a dog. He's not a dog. He walked out on the dogs.
All right, fair enough. That's
We
something
talk about
you can
earning
factor
respect.
in.
He lost the respect. I remember that too, and I was like 6
And
years
Timmy,
old.
you're a big respect guy.
I'm all about respect. Willie Mason.
I'm on number 1. I had him in
Number
mind.
1.
Clive Churchill medalists. Nice afro as well.
Andrew Ryan.
Oh, I like my order. I'll go him at number 4. I'm actually
There
happy
you
with
go.
that. I'm
That's
happy
pretty
with
good.
that.
Controversial opinion, but Sonny Bill Williams come onto the scene, made a massive impact, but probably not a legend of either club, of the Roosters or the Bulldogs.
Valid.
Like, how many
Very
games
valid.
did he actually play?
I think he played 3-4 years for Dogs.
Yeah.
He would have been. What he
And
did
two-
Bulldogs
two-
304
I think two
and then
for the
left,
Roosters?
Like, oh wait, so it's like
he
you
come
got to
back?
stop the chest pumping, man.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so I reckon 5 years for the Dogs and then only a couple for the Roosters. Yeah, so like 3 or 4. He's definitely more known outside of rugby league, probably, arguably.
Well, because he went to Union. I'm rattled. Because he went to Union.
You reckon you're rattled? I'm rattled.
But, like, I compare him to someone like...
Nothing. Just a bit of a tick I got every now and then.
No, you're good,
like,
mate.
I reckon Viliami Kikau has made more of an impact. Like, Sonny Bill Williams...
I don't know if
What
I
do
go
you mean
that
at the
far.
Dogs?
I wouldn't go that far.
Sonny Bill Williams has obviously done
What do you mean?
more in a short period of time, but Viliami Kikau, like, is
At the Dogs?
was at,
I'm
he was
sorry,
at
but
Penrith
nah.
longer. He was at Penrith longer, so, like, I think he's...
On rugby league, are you saying kick out more of an impact on rugby league?
No, on, like, their team.
On the Bulldogs?
Yeah. No, on the Panthers. Like,
kick out on the
Kick
Panthers
out
compared to Sonny Bill on the
Yes,
Bulldogs.
very similar.
Yeah, I can back that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were coming out saying Kikau's had more of an impact on the Dogs than
No.
Sonny
Yeah, I
Bill.
was
I'm like, oh, that's a...
Kikau has had
He was out for half the season.
Kikau has had much impact on the Dogs as Paul Alamotti did. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he missed half the
He
season.
had
Fair
a
enough.
bit more, to be fair.
All right, last one, categories. So pretty much the game is we say a category. We've all just got to go around the room and say something from that category. And if you stumble, that's a cross to your name. So you could say Bulldogs players, and then we just go around the room and say it. So I'll kick off with you.
What's the category?
No, we make one up each, and then whoever has the least points loses.
I'm so confused. You lost
So
me.
you just make up any category.
We're
You
actually
want.
we're naming categories.
No, you name
Oh,
a
so
category.
I pick my own category.
Yeah, you pick the
okay.
category, and then we all say the names.
Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
So let's do Bulldog players.
Okay, go.
Past or present?
Yeah. Oh, well, up to
Let's
him.
do all time.
Yeah.
It'll go for longer, but
It'll go for fucking ever.
Yeah, go.
Oh, I'll probably get out pretty early after that.
Well, then start.
All right, Paul Alamotti.
Roy Asatasi,
Ben Barber,
Viliami Kikau.
Mate Utai,
Steve Turner,
Andrew Ryan.
Josh Adokar,
Tim Laffey,
Terry Lamb.
Will Hopwade.
Jamal Idris.
Josh Adokar.
I said that, so you're out.
Fuck!
So that's a not point.
Did you
to
say Fox?
No, he said Josh Adokar.
I said Josh Adokar. There you go. So your category now.
No, but don't you keep going, or do we just out now?
I can go to the next category.
Yeah, okay, next category. Okay.
I'll save you the trouble.
Um,
I was only at 2011.
Referees all time.
Okay. Bill Harrigan.
Ashley Klein.
I'm trying to be heaps inclusive. Casey Badger.
Tim Mander.
Ben Cummins.
You're nearly out, buddy.
I'm
out.
Okay, so my new one. You'll go.
All right, I'll go Simpsons characters.
I'm not a big Simpsons guy. I'll start.
Oh, what are you then? Family Guy?
No, I'm just.
How about
I'm more sitcoms.
sitcoms? All right.
We can do Simpsons.
2.5 Men characters.
Never seen.
How about
Charlie Sheen, the little kid,
all right,
the other man.
dude.
all right. Fox Sports presenters.
Yeah, okay. Braith Nastar.
Corey Parker,
Darcy McDonald,
Walker Linus.
Brandy,
Hannah Hollis,
Cooper Cronk.
Yvonne Sampson,
Jess Yates,
Matty Johns.
I'm out.
Lara Pitt.
Hindy.
You can't play when I'm out, guys.
I just
Game
said all the
over.
hot chicks.
Game over.
All right. Thank you for coming on, Winston.
Nah, pleasure being here again.
Train and trial. I think the episode went well. Be happy to have you back.
Yeah, it went real well
especially
when the
when
cameras weren't turned on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We'll be doing previews next year, so be happy to have you on for the Bulldogs episode at least. Timmy, thank you.
No workers.
You've still got Winston still has a bit to work on to make the 13.
Oh, 100%, bro. You know what I mean? Like 100%.
What do I need to work on?
Oh, mate, just need to be a little bit more charming.
Yeah, okay.
Probably more charming, I'd say. Just work on your charm.
I'll go home and do that, I'm going to cry.
Remember, stay off
Practice in front of the mirror for 2 hours before you come in there.
I'll just watch Shrek, Prince Charming highlights on YouTube.
Killed it, bro. Nice work.
Yeah, stay off the porn, kids.
Yeah, that's
stay off
right.
the porn. All right, cheers.